Are we rolling? I think we're rolling. Just hold on here. Stirring the coffee. Gotta make sure it's nice and stirred. I'm coming. Welcome to Dumpster Divers PC Reclamation. I'm Rusty, aka Ed King, or Ed King, aka Rusty. Take your pick, or don't. Just drop it, whatever. Okay, today I'm going to sit down. I hope you don't mind the birthday decorations. I do have a little one, actually I have a few little ones. Yes, an old guy like me. I have little ones, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Few things. This is not a regular unboxing video, but it is an unboxing video. And so maybe I should actually get to the unboxing part of it first before I get into the other things. And there's just a few things I want to share with you. Now, admittedly, I haven't uploaded a video in some time. I've been so busy with domestics, real life, and all this stuff, but I made a number of videos to upload, and then on reviewing the videos, I thought the better of it, I need to get myself a good video editing program. Now, you guys know, those who are familiar with my videos, that I'm an amateur. I do amateur videos. I don't do anything, really professional or anything. But the reason I need to get a good bit of editing software is, well, some of you are probably familiar with some of my videos where I was not too friendly about some companies because I noticed that lately, since the I can say it because I'm not monetized, the COVID crises that has swept our nations, it seems like retailers are being very sloppy and having their way with consumers. And so I'm sitting down here and I want to talk to you a little bit about this. I said some things because I was angry, and I'm going to edit some of those things out of those videos because I was not pleased at all. I mean, I didn't resort to profanity or anything, but I kind of poked fun at some of the companies, made some slurs about their names. In fact, maybe I leaked a couple, or one or two maybe, already uploaded them, making satirical plays on their names, because I really do think that when a paying customer, is making an exchange with their hard-earned finances for a product, they expect to get what's being advertised. And when a retailer just throws whatever they want at them, and that client tries to communicate with them and say, hey, this is not what I ordered, and then they get really snarky with their customer and they start putting the customer's integrity on the line, well, I don't think that's a company worth dealing with. And I guess it was a loss of dignity or self-respect, I guess, when I'm poking fun at these companies that do stuff like that, and poking fun at their names. Maybe that's actually me lowering my standard, but I really did feel, what really got me is this one company actually gave me a lecture in an email about how I should not resort to personal attacks. Yet they would put my personal integrity on the line by implying that I was lying to them and perhaps even scamming them or attempting to scam them. And I really, really resented that because I consider myself forthright in business, and you know, it really got my ire up. I'm only human, and you know, when that happened, well, I have to say that I was none too pleased. So this is a video. Well, there's an unboxing involved, but this is a video mostly about companies that I personally have discovered that you can count on, that you can rely on, that you can trust. Instead of me going the negative side of things, I'd like to just mention a few of the companies that, from my personal experience, I found to be very reliable. Now remember, this channel is slightly unique in that, number one, it's very amateur, but I guess that's not very unique because there's a lot of amateur videos on YouTube, but it leans more toward unique in that it is not monetized. And so by all means, please subscribe, not for my financial benefit because I make zip from these, but rather that it keeps bumping it up and get it. And I want views. I want views. I want people. I want to share my knowledge. Okay, and I don't get anything for it. I don't. You know, there's no perks for me in this. But I really do feel that I'd like to share, you know, my knowledge with, you know, the general public at large, or those who are interested in the things that I do, and to make them aware of a few things, you know, at least from my experience, you know, paying it forward, passing it on, whatever you would call it. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm making this video, and just like the rest of my videos, the theme is basically PC reclamation, meaning, you know, that rather than throwing the PC in the dumpster, reclaiming it, restoring it, improving it, upgrading it, bringing it, you know, to a better condition, maybe even than what it was when you first got it. You know, as opposed to chucking it in a dumpster, or, you know, as opposed to chucking it back into a dumpster if you have rescued it. And kudos to all you out there who do rescue PCs and reclaim them and get them running again, because there's so many people you could give a PC to after you've upgraded it and refurbished it, you know, and you know, pay it forward to them that they have a PC they can use. Not everybody can afford a PC, you know. It comes in handy in today's world, and it also helps our environment. But that aside, I'm trying to keep this short, but I was really slighted by that company and another company, and I'm not going to say the names of these companies in this video because it doesn't matter. I want to share the names of some companies that are, you know, I have found stand by their product. The most recent one being iSanek. Letter I, S-A-N-E-K, I believe. I ordered a computer case from them via Amazon. I think they're situated in my province, but I'm not sure, the province of Alberta. But nonetheless, I ordered a computer case, and maybe some of you remember that video that I made, where it was advertised as a mid-tower case. And they kind of sort of, it's a gray area. They could probably have got away with it, but to be more specific, it's a micro mid-tower case. And there's a difference between a micro mid-tower and a mid-tower. Okay, a mid-tower case, my wife has one. It can hold an ATX board. A micro mid-tower case cannot house an ATX board. And you've probably seen one of my videos on that. And so You know, I mean, I gave it my best shot. I even thought, you know, I mean, as soon as I opened it, I thought, no, this isn't going to fit. And I was right, it didn't. But I tried anyway. But no, it doesn't. It's about 1 inch too short. So you know, I had to use a micro motherboard in it, and I didn't have a micro motherboard to put in it at the time. And I was making a build for a client, and anyway, fortunately, I had an older case that I had salvaged, an old gaming GameAxe, I believe was the name. I don't believe that company is in existence anymore. But anyway, it all worked out for the better. But here's the thing. iSanic stood behind the product. Not only did they stand behind their product, but they sent me a shipping label, prepaid, to send the case back to them, and they gave me a full refund for that case. I got that case at an excellent price. I was almost half tempted to keep it, but I mean, because the case now is like double, almost double what I paid for it. That's how quickly the price gouging is going up over this, and I get to say it, whereas monetized people are not get penalized for this. No penalty for me. The COVID crisis, I get to say it. You see what I mean? This is what makes me unique. I can speak my mind. I can speak my mind about companies. I'm not beholden to any companies, you know, so that, you know, I can pay them lip service and you know, give you guys a compromised and biased video. I give you the straight goods, okay? I can tell you exactly what my experience has been without any fear of being penalized, because I'm not beholden to them. They can't penalize me, all right? So, you know, like if you want, I mean, I've had, you know, over 2 decades now of PC building and fiddling around with stuff like that. If you want to talk about fiddling around with electronics, well, we got to go back another 10 years. So, you know, and yeah, I'm in my 60s, you know, going on 70. I say that because some of you are going on 100. I'm not going to make it that far. The plan is 77. After that, well, you know, it's gravy. But the plan is to make it to 77. So, you know, I'm in my 60s, going on 77. There you go. And hopefully I'll make it that far. I had to clarify that for one of the viewers that was trying to correct me and whatever. But I am definitely in my 60s. I'll give you that. Where was I? Oh, iSanic. Because of that, I will buy products from them, and I nearly bought a different product, a different computer case from them, and I think I did buy another different unrelated product from them, but. They're on my list. They're on my keeper list. You know, I mean, some of you have this on Amazon. You know, where you bookmark you know, your favorites. They're on my favorites. Okay, because iSanic is a company that stands behind their product. Okay, all right, we got what you mean. You know, we understand that. You know, yeah, we could have been a little bit more clear on what we advertised, and you know, they gave me a full refund. That's the point. Now, they can turn around and sell that product for, you know, at least 1/3 more than what they charged me for it, because, you know, I sent it to them in excellent price and excellent condition. And the price of the computer case now is practically double anyway. And that's what this whole COVID thing's all about. Price gouging. It's terrible. And you can't really get on the retailer's case too much about this, because it's not necessarily the retailer. It's the wholesaler. It's the supplier. Because here's what's going on. There's not a lot of manufacturing going on. There's, you know, they're drawing off the wholesale. Okay, they're drawing off, you know, the surplus, but the surplus is starting to run out. Okay, and the people who normally manufacture computer components, computer cases, you name it, okay, they're not on those assembly lines anymore, guys. Okay, because of COVID. All right, not very many of them are doing this anymore because of the physical distancing rules and stuff like that, all right? And a lot of these companies are digging in their heels and saying, no, we're going to wait and see what happens. So prices are going up. And plus there is a demand, so there is a little bit of price gouging on the retail end of things too. I'm not, the retailers aren't completely innocent here. But because of that, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here. I just wanted to mention this to some of you. Maybe some of you have noticed this. But the price of computer hardware is skyrocketing. And I don't think it's going to get better. Not until, manufacturers are manufacturing again and the competition is healthy. Are we going to see any great reductions in hardware prices? And so this is a great time to try to resuscitate older stuff. Of course, you still may need to get some new parts to resuscitate those things. But you would be better off doing something like that than, looking for a brand new PC. For example, this Dell Inspiron laptop I purchased for basically running diagnostics on my server. Carrying with me whenever I do happen to get into a place where I might need to use Wi-Fi. That's one of the few exceptions I make for Wi-Fi. I sure don't use Wi-Fi in my house. But, that's a personal preference. I'm not coming down on anybody who uses Wi-Fi. They have to make their own call. I made my call. But anyway, this Dell Inspiron, I paid way too much for it. I paid like hundreds of dollars more for it than I found out what it was really worth later on. But it's got, a touch screen and which again, I don't really think I should have got it. But I have to return it. Okay? But here's the thing. Dell stands behind their product. They will be shipping me a shipping label and a crate. The reason I have to return it, by the way, is there's something funky with the battery. The battery says it's in excellent condition, but it only indicates 50% full. And even after a firmware update, I've had them run diagnostics on it as well already. And they're like, okay, you're right. You need to send this back to us. So next month, next month is very soon, by the way. It'll be September, very soon. I'll be sending my Dell laptop back to them. Hardly used it at all. But that is a company that will stand behind their product. The warranty is on the product. They will stand behind their product. All right. Another company that will stand behind their product is ASUS. I can't say how many ASUS computers I've built. In fact, they are my personal preference when it comes to motherboards. ASUS is pretty much the way to go. If you're looking for quality, durability, and a good warranty, ASUS is probably your best choice. All right. I would say MSI might be a good runner-up in that way. If you're mostly looking at gaming computers, MSI is a pretty good choice as well. But I have found from personal experience many times that anything goes wrong with that motherboard, they will replace it. All right, and at no extra charge. All right. Depending, of course, on circumstances. If you're abusing the thing yourself, okay, come on, fair is fair. But, or maybe you bent some pins on it, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something. But my personal experience has been ASUS will stand behind their product. Now, that doesn't mean you have to jump through hoops and hurdles and stuff like that, but, that's the way it is with all companies. But they do stand behind their product. That's important, all right? So Isanic, Dell, ASUS, all right, these companies do stand behind their product. And there's another company I'd like to mention while I'm at it. And I'll move my copy. I just bought yet another CyberPower UPS. Now, why did I buy another? I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 CyberPower UPSs? Why? Because they're a company that stands behind their product. And I have never really had any technical issues with CyberPower UPSs other than, 4 years later, the batteries need to be replaced. Now that's normal, okay? That's not really what you could call an event, all right? And personally, I've never had an event. I've read that some people have. Okay, sometimes there's a bad apple in the bunch. But so far, so good. And here's the thing. CyberPower went above and beyond the call of duty when I had a certain problem with a certain company that I'm not going to mention, that I purchased a CyberPower UPS for my server. Now this was a sine wave UPS, okay? And I'm not going to get into the difference between sine wave and square wave because, square wave UPS is still okay. You don't have really super expensive equipment and you're not too worried about, the sensitivity of your components. It'll still save your computer, all right? A square wave UPS will still save your computer. But if you have a commercial system going, or an industrial, if you're using it for commercial or industrial use, your server, if you're running a server, yes, get a sine wave, okay? Because those components, you're running those things 24/7. You really need good protection for those components. So by all means, get a sine wave UPS, all right? And the difference is, in your signal to ratio curve, okay, you can see it on an oscilloscope, okay? The square wave kind of looks like this, and the sine wave is more smooth. It's a little bit more easier on your components, but, there's not as much fluctuation. It's a smooth curve, okay, but I'm not going to get that much into, signal to frequency ratios and things like that with you. I barely understand it myself, to be honest, but I understand enough of it to know that sine wave is a little bit better. So I bought a sine wave UPS. Well, I paid for a sine wave UPS. That's not what I got from this company, who put my integrity on the line and gave me a lecture on personal attacks after they turned around and put me on the spot questioning my integrity, which I would regard as a personal attack, if you know what I mean. So, but I got to thinking, perhaps, with this whole COVID thing, yeah, I can say COVID, that's so nice. Maybe all this stress and everything, because this is sure no way to talk to a client. Anyway, I have the emails. You don't want to hear about it. It resulted in a 2-month dispute because they insisted they sent me the right product. And they did not. But one thing, serial numbers don't lie. And so, after numerous attempts to get their attention and them not even, responding, they took their sweet time about that. And then checking other clients' reviews about this company that will remain nameless, okay, because of dignity and all that sort of thing. How dare they question my integrity? Anyway, that one went deep. Finding out that there were clients had been waiting months, literally months, to get their money back. And them going, right on their website they say, We do not handle online orders. Oh, really? So how do I get a hold of them? I can't phone them. They don't answer their emails. Well, they were a third-party seller through, I'll say this company, Newegg. And so I contacted Newegg, and then I was also treated very callously there by a customer service representative at Newegg, and I definitely let Newegg know about it. And, essentially, I'll tell you what the lady there said to me. What do you want me to do about it? Like that. That kind of tone. What do you want me to do about it? I'm like, well, it would be nice if you could get this third-party seller of yours to contact me. She said that was something that she would do. She would send them an email, right? Well, days later, I still got nothing. Now this is where cyberpower comes into play, people. I went above their heads. I went right to their supplier. I went to cyberpower themselves. Now why? Because cyberpower, I've never had a problem with them. They've always given me a good product. Okay, they've always been a straight shooter with me, and all the reports I've read about them, they back up their product. I contacted them and explained my situation to them, and I said, I realize this is really not your responsibility, but I would like the unit that I ordered. Can I ship you the unit that they gave me, the cyberpower unit that they gave me, and could you replace it for the unit that I actually ordered? And they said yes. How about that? You know what? There's a reason why I own 4 cyberpower UPSs, people. They're a company that stands behind their product. They're not giving me anything for this plug. I'm just saying. I've had other UPSs. I know from whence I speak. If you want a reliable UPS at a reasonable price, go with cyberpower. That's all I'm going to say. Go with cyberpower. Unfortunately, during this whole session, this was a 2-month ordeal, that other retailer actually had cyberpower cancel the replacement because they wanted to handle it, I guess. And I really had to pull and tug on some strings before I could get my replacement unit. All right. I'm talking over 24 emails here. Okay. This was insane. And that company was going, our investigation shows the invoice that on our invoice we sent you, you got the right product. Well, somebody there is not entering the correct data on their computers because that invoice was lying. The invoice was saying that I got something I didn't get. There was something else in the box. The invoice did not match what was in the box. Now, I can understand how maybe somebody might be trying to pull a scam. But the way to check that is with the serial numbers. They'll know when that computer was produced, when that computer was shipped. They will know that I'm not lying. All they have to do is check the serial number on the UPS and they know I'm telling the truth. And I was definitely telling the truth. But boy, they got my dander up on that one. I was not impressed, that them implying, and they said they're running an investigation because, they felt like, somebody, their supplier might be defrauding them or whatever. Yeah, they were passing the buck is what they were doing. And, I was being defrauded of a product. So buyer beware, But I have not said the name of the company in this video for a reason, because this video is about companies you can trust. CyberPower made it good, okay? Thanks to CyberPower, I have the UPS I want. And now I'm going to unbox this video because this is another UPS that I purchased for my wife because she actually has a CyberPower UPS downstairs, but the batteries are starting to get a little low. And I'm going to also get CyberPower batteries for that CyberPower. But I decided what I'm going to do is give her the next model up, right? And the girls can have the older one when I get some batteries in it, CyberPower batteries. And there you go. You know what I'm saying? And well, my other daughter, she's already got a CyberPower UPS. But here's the point. CyberPower stands behind their product. And thank you, CyberPower. Thank you so much for bearing with this, because they did not have to go beyond the call of duty. They didn't sell me the UPS. It was that retailer that questioned my integrity that sold me a UPS, not the one I ordered, okay? And shipped it off to me, you know, under the false pretense that it was what I ordered when it wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, but CyberPower made it good, which tells me this is a company that goes above and beyond the call of duty. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm kind of harping a little bit more on them, because every once in a while you'll find a company that goes above and beyond the call of duty. And that's a company you want to keep on your list because they're so few and far between. All right? You know, a company like that, you want to stay with those guys. Now, I've been with CyberPower, I admit, better part of a decade. And I can tell you that they're a reputable company and they stand behind their product, okay? You know, depending on what your needs are. You know, if your needs are not like, you know, super, uber, high performance, whatever, right? And, you know, in the domestic market, you know, Dell might be the thing for you. But yeah, sometimes Dell has problems, right? So I'll be sending this back to them. Here's the point though, when there's a problem, they stand behind the product, right? You know, I wouldn't say that Dell is necessarily always the most highest quality, you know, but for my purposes, I bought this laptop because, you know, I wanted it just for diagnostics and stuff like that. I didn't really want it for like major performance or anything. Now I'm going to turn this over. You're going to see this thing. I'm not going to turn it on because that's not how you handle UPS. I should tell you this. How you handle a UPS. You take it out of the box and you plug it in and you leave it plugged in for, I would recommend 24 hours. Okay, just to be on the safe side. Leave it plugged in for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you press the power switch. Do not press the power switch on your UPS until it has sat plugged in for about 24 hours. You don't know what level of charge is in that battery when you get it. And you can hurt the power supply unit if it isn't fully charged and you try to turn it on before then. Just err on the side of caution. They'll say 8 hours. Some people will say 8 hours. Some people say 12 hours. No. Leave it on for 24 hours. You know, you waited this long, you know, without one. Leave it on for 24 hours. Or, you know, plugged in for 24 hours. Okay? Then turn it on. Okay? So I won't be turning it on. But I will be unboxing it. And this will be for my wife. And my other daughter will get the other CyberPower. And my other daughter already has the other CyberPower. So that's 4. But you know what? That's fine. Because I have good, reliable product. And I know it's backed by a good, reliable company. And where I live, there's brownouts, there's blackouts, there's all kinds of shortages. And, you know, this allows you the time to turn your computer off safely in the event that you have a brownout or a blackout, and you know, you can shut down your computer. In fact, I had one recently with my sine wave, by the way, my sine wave UPS, and I was amazed. You know, this is a power-hungry computer. I mean, this thing's got like a 1,000-watt Corsair Platinum power supply. You know, it runs like about 24 hard drives, and it's my home server, you know. Anyway, and I had 28 minutes to shut it down. 28 minutes, you know. Yeah. Now that is a 1,000-watt UPS, so just bear that in mind. But it's a good way to test it. And, yeah, and it definitely gave me the time, and that's exactly what I bought it for. I could shut down my home server safely, take my time, make sure all the programs are closed and everything before I hit that power button. And all was well. When we finally had our power restored, which took hours and hours, all was well, and everything was good to go, and nothing got hurt. That's what I mean about having a UPS. Okay, so I've probably got it upside down by the looks of things, but this model is not the sine wave model that I bought. But because they stood by their product, and because I was in the market for another one, I thought, yeah, thank you, CyberPower. I'm buying another one. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with Isanic and Asus and all those other companies that stand behind their products. Okay, important. This UPS is designed with a safety failure to prevent UPS from powering on during shipment. You see what I mean? Before you can turn on the UPS, you must connect the UPS power cord to an AC power outlet to charge the battery. See? Alright. The battery will charge whether the UPS is on or off. Charge the battery for at least 8 hours, they say, to ensure maximum battery power capacity. I'm going to leave it on for 24. That's what I always do. I've always reasoned, I've waited this long for a UPS, I can wait one more day. You know, and that way, you know, there's no question about whether or not I left it plugged in. Now, that might sound a little extreme, but that's what I do. So I'm going to be plugging it into my outlet over here, and leaving it turned on, or leaving it plugged in and not turning it on until tomorrow. Now, for my coax, it gives me surge protection, you know, in the event of a lightning strike or something like that, you know, your cable. If you're running like Ethernet via cable, you can run also your Ethernet cables from your router here, and it'll protect it. This is 10 NEMA. Okay. The other one I have is 12, the sine wave. Okay, it's got your serial port and of course your USB, so that your unit can talk to the computer, right? All right, so I'm going to plug this in. This is not quite as heavy as the other one, but it's the newer model, and I know that the wife will certainly like it. It's the 1500 VA, and yes, these retail at I think a little over 200 Canadian. They're a worthwhile investment if you have electronic equipment that you value and want to keep safe in the event of an electrical storm or a brownout. You just have to make sure that you have enough of a power supply to operate your equipment on. You know, if you have something that, you know, is using like 1,000 watts and you put it on a 600 watt UPS, you can expect that you're going to have some problems there, right? So make sure that you know what the wattage, the actual usage is of your product, and you know, purchase in accordance with the capacity of the power supply. All right, little good rule is like 20% more. The 20% more rule comes in handy. Okay, because, you know, sometimes things are X RMS, right? And if, you know, it's root mean squared, well, you know, it's using more, you know, nominal wattage than they're actually saying it is at RMS. So just like I'm talking, like for you audiophiles out there that, you know, are maybe considering getting a UPS, or, you know, for your home entertainment center, they can save so many problems down the line for so many electronics. A regular, just a standard surge protector, it's still a good thing to have, but this does so much more than just give you surge protection. I pointed out the surge protection at the back. Five of these outlets are battery backup, okay? No surge protector gives you battery backup unless it's a UPS, uninterruptible power supply, because your power supply is actually this unit here. It's not your raw power, AC power coming out of the wall, which is unfiltered and unpredictable, okay? This regulates that power, keeps it cleaner, all right? Sine wave keeps it uber cleaner, all right? And actually protects your computer. It's, you know, some people say like these things are glorified fuses, but no, they're more than that. They are power supplies. They actually do power your components, and they also offer you battery backup in the event that there is a power failure, so that you have the time to shut down your component safely until you get your regular power back. And I can't tell you how many times a CyberPower UPS unit has saved my components. And yeah, you know, I have some expensive equipment, and I would really hate to lose it because of a power failure or a brownout or anything like that. So yes, this is my fourth one, and well, it might be my fifth. I have to take a look at my older one. I have an even older one. But you know, and you know, I recommend them to my clients all the time. But yeah, so I'm going to be plugging this in. One more thing before I go. I hope you got those names down on your list. Isanic. I will very likely be purchasing more products from Isanic now that I know them, now that I know that they really do honor their product. Dell. You can say what you like about Dell. I've had Dell computers, and I don't knock them. You know, for what they're worth and for what they're used for, they're okay. Dell's fine. All right. You're not going to get the premium components. No, of course not. You get what you pay for, and a little bit less, because everybody's got to make a profit, right? And you know, I'm not going to knock Dell. Some people really like to knock Dell. I won't do it. they fit a market, and actually some of their higher end stuff is pretty good. Asus, absolutely. I've heard horror stories. I don't understand it because I have always had such good service from Asus. I've always had such good. Whenever there's a problem, they deal with it, and they don't charge me anything extra for that. As long as the product's on warranty. Asus, Isanic, Dell, CyberPower. These are companies I have learned stand behind their product, and some even go above and beyond, and CyberPower is definitely one of them. Intel, they're a bit trickier, but they will stand behind their product if you can actually show them, that, hey, this really is a problem with the manufacturing of this device, like a processor chip. That they were reasonable with me, very reasonable with me, I have to admit, in that I had a problem with the CPU, and they checked it themselves online with me remotely, and yeah, there was a problem. They recommended that I RMA the CPU, but then it turned out that there were some other problems with it going through customs and all that. So I had time to browse around on their official website, and I noticed that they had a CPU that was discontinued. And I said, do you have any of these in stock? And they said, well, yeah, we do, but they're discontinued. I said, well, so is the chip that I've been having problems with. Why don't you send me one of those? And she said, well, you know what? I'll check with my supervisor. Because I had lost a lot of time over this, and I had, I actually do a community service where I got about, well over 1,000 people, 1,360 something people, anyway, that I do a community service with, and my server was down. But that aside, the supervisor said yes, it was a go-ahead. And so I got a much better CPU in exchange for the CPU that I sent back to them. But I don't advise anybody, I can't in good conscience advise anybody to buy an Intel processor chip, because to the best of my knowledge, Intel has not dealt with the architecture. They have to deal with this problem at the architectural level, and I'm talking about Spectre Meltdown. And I'll just leave it at that. I won't go on a long rant and rave about Spectre Meltdown because I've done it so many times. But they're being really hush-hush about it, but they're certainly not, blowing their horn about, yes, we've changed the architecture. There will never be a Spectre Meltdown problem again. They've had it so many times, so many different variants of this exploit. You know what I'm getting at? So in good conscience, I can't recommend buying Dell CPUs. Or not Dell, pardon me, Intel CPUs. Okay, I cannot recommend it. Now, I'm not like some of the giants out there that you watch, on YouTube videos. Some of you may, some of you may not. I'm trying to think of that guy who actually got his 5-year-old daughter to help her build her own pink PC. And I thought that was so cute watching him do that. And he's a giant now, He mainly focuses on water-cooled systems. And, guys like that, they're professionals. I'm just an amateur. But one thing I can do is I can give you the straight goods, what I experience myself and I'm not beholden to anyone to give you those straight goods. You know, I don't have to, be biased